Test, test, test. All right, we're back. Awesome. Yesterday I got a bunch of multiplayer stuff fixed, and today I want to work a little bit on the environment. Because I'm very close to actually being able to record a release trailer. So I'm gonna be adding a little bit of more detail to the environment. Okay. Just want to make sure that okay, nice. The camera is locked to the character, so it's easier to move around. Still wanna work on the camera a little bit. All right, so yeah, let's address this a little bit. Make it look a little nicer. Okay, so I'm gonna start with some vegetation. Something like this. Hey, how's it going? I'm gonna start with something like this. I wanna make it look pretty cool. Maybe a little tree with roots. Something maybe like this one, growing on the rock. Battle Pass. No, this game is gonna be old school. It's just gonna be just gonna be maybe around $5. That's what I'm thinking of on pricing. Just you get the game and that's it. No need to do battle passes and stuff like that. I appreciate it. I do want to have a. Well, I do want to add the possibility to customize the character, like changing hats and stuff like that. Maybe even the boat. That could be very cool. Oh, I need to remember that I'm working on this map, because I have a single player mode and a multiplayer mode. So basically gonna copy the map. So I need to remember to make changes only on the single player, then just copy it and change the game mode to multiplayer. So it's going to be a co-op game for 2 people to paddle. Okay, I think that's pretty cool. Is that foliage? Probably. Okay, let's see. Don't want to make it too dense. But it will be very nice to add some grass here and there. Trying not to add too much stuff. Don't want to make it too overgrown. A little bit here and there. Okay. Just a little bit. Need to select this one, push it down a little. Maybe here as well. Need to make sure that it is actually touching the ground. Okay, another very cool thing that I could add is a little bit of moss. In areas like this. Yeah, this might look very cool. Need to make sure that this has no collision. Perfect. Don't want to get stuck in this moss. Yeah, that will be very cool. Okay, I think that's kind of good. Here we could probably use another type, something more like this. Hey, how's it going? just adding a little bit more detail to the environment. I want to record a gameplay trailer, so I wanna make it look a little bit more detailed. Also, we don't want collisions on those. Perfect. Okay, that's nice. We have some mushrooms. Always looks nice to add a couple of them on top of the wood or something. Are these mushrooms? Probably. Oh, I know which ones will look very good here. These ones will look very nice. What color? Maybe red. Red, I think, is gonna be a nice contrast. I think they go like that. That looks very cool. I really like these ones. Maybe a little bigger. Tiny smaller, a little bit smaller. Maybe somewhere here. Trying to figure out which is the front of this. Okay, then I have these other ones. Maybe those ones. no, let's just use the red ones. Just a little bit. Okay, that's nice. I want some more trees on the sides. Something like this. Okay. And also, I think maybe a little bit of paint. We can paint a little bit the landscape. Make it a little bit more green on the top. Oh no, actually, oops. Yeah, let's say this grows on the top, then we have some soil. That would be cool. Okay. Yeah, we need to fill in something here. Okay, I guess I might use these ones. I think these are the most low poly ones, just to get a little bit. Also, I'm trying to make it so we can actually look at them from this side. Thankfully, I'm going with low poly because this will be very hard if I had like realistic trees. Okay, that feels a little better. Also, I could use some kind of rocks. Doesn't need to be always trees. Okay, that starts feeling a little bit more. Gonna go a little bit bigger with these trees to fill in the space. That feels nice. We can even go outside of the landscape just to give the illusion that there's more stuff going on in there. I think that's nice. 3-4 layers of trees, and it gives the idea that you are deep. Oh, that's awesome. What kind of games you want to make? I'm making a co-op raft game. I like this, and also helps to cover up a little bit this area, because the river goes all around there, comes back here, so I'll be using this. It's a very smart way to kind of like reuse the assets, since it's a linear game. Like you go around and then you come here, and then you still see some stuff in the background, so you kind of like reusing a little bit of what you have. Okay, the same here. Just gonna fill in a little bit these gaps. The tricky part here is that this is what the player is going to see, so always I need to go back and play a little bit to see what is actually going to be in the camera, because you don't want to be working on areas that are not nice. I'm starting to get the feeling of actually being surrounded by nature. I like that. I'm just trying to add the right quantity of trees. Don't want to go too much, because then it becomes too dense and you cannot really actually appreciate the different models. Kind of like becomes one big chunk. Okay. Okay, I think this is good for here. Don't want to add too much. Here is a little bit empty, so I'm just gonna add maybe some roots. Oh, excuse me. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, really like that. Here, I think we could also add a little bit of something like this. Okay, what happened there? Oh, that's a flat background tree, okay. We might use those far away. That's I like the roots, but not the, don't wanna trying to build layers, so I don't wanna like hide everything. Sometimes it's nice to play with that like occlusion, like, but in this case I'm, oh nice, we have one without leaves. I knew I was going to use this one. That allows me to see behind it. Nice. Should have made more of this. I didn't make these assets from scratch, but I did modify some of them. This is a big no-no, having two assets right next to each other that are the same, like these houses actually. That's not a good idea. You can tell repetition very easily. Maybe we can actually swap this for this. Okay, cool. Nice, nice, nice. We are also getting a little bit of those light shafts going on. That's very nice. I can't wait to see how this looks with Lumen. Trying to work on with screen space global illumination just to make it look as good as possible, because I do want to have the option to turn Lumen off, so it runs way better for people who don't have a strong PC. I mean, even on my computer that I have a 3080, it gets very hot, very hot when you turn Lumen on. It looks absolutely beautiful, but does take a hit, big hit on performance. But it's okay. If I can manage to achieve 60 frames per second, I'm more than happy. Because I do want to have VSync on, so we don't get screen tearing. That's I think I need some kind of bushes. I think everything's so tall. I need something lower, but it's okay. I think I'm going a little bit too dense, a little bit more dense than I need. Not quite happy with that floating wood. I kind of need to work on some kind of better indication that that's the wood for repair. Maybe I can add a little icon. Not sure. Need to think about it. I want to work on the camera. Need to figure out how to make the camera actually don't get stuck in the meshes. I know people sometimes build a like custom meshes that only collide with the camera, invisible meshes that will just help the camera go under stuff. Oh wow, that pivot point is a little bit far away. Just a little tiny detail like this adds a lot. I might add a moss on top of the rocks. Could be nice. Oh. Nice. It's good to work a little bit on the art side of things. Yesterday I had a blueprinting day. Wow, it was tough. I got stuck in a couple of multiplayer things, and thankfully I managed to solve the issues. But yeah, I spent way too much time trying to figure out how to make the Steam name appear on both characters and stuff, both players. But at the end I managed to find a solution. Then I got the both health to synchronize between two players, got the repair wood to also synchronize, and I think everything's pretty good. Absolutely, there's gonna be bugs to fix, but it's going very well. Yeah, the light is coming through here, so don't wanna cast too many shadows. We might need to use something smaller. Is that okay? Might get away with some rocks. Oh, I need to be careful with those shadows. So maybe I could use stuff like this. Let's add a little bit of moss on the shore. Yep, I think those stones might benefit a lot from actually having a little bit of moss on top, a little bit more variation to it. I need some kind of bush. Let's see what can I get. Okay, those are not that bad. Definitely not that one. I think that might go well. I do want to snap this to surface. Yep. I love that in Unreal 5.7. The snapping to surface, such a good feature. Okay, always try to get the player camera. Don't want to be placing stuff where nobody's gonna see it. The color of this rock doesn't really match. And it's too shiny, I think, yeah. Yep, roughness 1. There you go. Want to keep that roughness value equal on all my rocks and assets. I realized that not having normal maps or very subtle normal maps and very low roughness values actually adds a lot to the stylized look. Wow, it does look way nicer. I do need to add a little bit more variation to these houses. We cannot just have them like that. Let's take that snap to surface off. Something like that. Adds a little bit more variation. Okay, and here, we also have a door. I totally forgot. So let's close some of these houses with a door. Is it gonna snap to the same pivot point? It does. Beautiful. So let's close that one. It will be kind of funny to also add a little bathroom. This door does not snap because I did change the pivot point. Somewhere like that. I'm just gonna integrate it a little bit. Not like that. With a little grass. I wish this foliage menu opens up a little bit more. They give me such a small room to look through all the foliage types. I think it hasn't been touched since Unreal 4 or something. I love the fact that the resolution of my landscape it's so small. It's a very light landscape. I cannot paint because there's moss or grass. Ah, there you go. Kinda wanna make it. Maybe strength. Maybe a bigger brush. Wow, I've never used such a small brush in a landscape. That's very light, very low res. Foliage. Paint cycle through selected. Are these gonna be huge? Yeah, don't. Sometimes it's cool to paint foliage like this. You get like such a nice such a nice placement, random placement. But need to take it very, very easy with this. When you're painting on a slope, most likely these big chunks of grass, unfortunately they're not going to touch the ground because the pivot point is in the center, and you don't really want to like do them like that because it doesn't feel right. Like nature grows vertically most of the time, so probably the best solution is to use smaller chunks so you can get that slope. Working on a slope is always a little bit more work, but verticality it's absolutely necessary to make something look interesting. All right, so Yeah, let's try to add a little bit of moss to these rocks. I don't actually remember how to do that, but I should probably have. Should probably have a material with that already set somewhere here. It's say world space node, something like that. Up is this one? I think this one might have it. World coordinate three-way. I think that's triplanar. Blend power. AB. This might be the thing. I don't really need to make them triplanar. Hey Nico, how's it going? Good morning. Doing a live, an art live stream today, trying to add a little bit more detail to the environment. Yesterday I had a very intense session of replication and multiplayer, and I got a bunch of stuff done. I'm very, very happy. Spent like, I'm a little embarrassed to say, but I spent around maybe 7 hours trying to figure out how to show the Steam name on both players. 6 p.m. nice. Here is 12 p.m. midday. So yeah, I spent so much time yesterday trying to figure that out with ChatGPT, just to ask a friend for help, and he was like, hey, try this, try these nodes, and it worked like 2 hours after trying his solution, and I was like, oh, I should have asked for help before. So sometimes ChatGPT doesn't give you the best solution. It kept changing the methods, and I did learn a little bit about game modes, player state, player controller, but it was very messy, and I solved it with a couple of notes that my friend sent me, and I was like, oh wow, probably not the best way to do it, but it works for now, so I'm pretty happy. Let's see if we can actually create a mossy material. So let's see, we have these nodes, and I want to implement them in this thing here. So I'm just gonna copy this one, and I'm gonna call it moss on top, something like that. So what we have here, world coordinate three-way. Not really sure if we want to do this triplanar. Actually, we don't. All we need is the blend power, blend exponent x. We might need this, okay, because we want to blend on the top. So let's actually try here and here. So we're gonna lerp and try to get a moss color on top of the rocks. Let me clean this up a little bit. I think that looks a little bit nicer. Okay, cool. Then I think we just need to create an instance of this thing, and then we need to activate the parameters, which is just the texture for the moss and the blend power. For the moss texture, I want to use this one right here, okay? And then we're gonna apply this thing to this rock and see if it works. Oh, beautiful. Now we have some moss on the rocks. That moss is a little bit too much. I want something more like this color here. So we're gonna desaturate or just actually use that color. We don't really want texture, so actually let's just use a solid color instead. Triplanar top texture. Let's not use a texture, let's just use a color. And then this color is going to be, let's make it unlit and try to pick that color. Okay, that's way better. Then I want to play a little bit with the values and see if we can get this to work a little bit nicer. I think it's kind of fine for this low poly. That's more, this is less, and a little bit less. 5, 1 is too much, 10, 5. I think 5 was good for this. Sweet. So let's see how it looks. Yep, I think it works better. I have different types of rocks, so I might need to apply this to yeah, that looks kind of nice. Adds adds a little bit more more detail. Oh, I really like that one. Yep. Maybe I could use virtual texture. How do you call that? Runtime virtual textures to blend in the assets with the floor, but for this kind of like low poly style might not be necessary. Yep, that was necessary. The moss on the rocks absolutely adds a lot more integration. Oh, it looks kind of cool. All right, these 3 houses, let's randomize them a little bit. we could add this. Paste. I'm gonna make a copy of that door. Gonna go to X form, pivot, left, right, back, front, and open it up. Something like this could be nice. Then I want to add a little bit of differentiation. Let's add something like this thing, just so they don't look like the same house 3 times in a row. Maybe we can go like this. Let's copy rotation. Let's paste rotation. So it snaps a little bit better. And I'm not really going to be able to do much with this, so let's do a quick split. Before doing the split, maybe generate polygroups connected from connected trees. Then we can actually split from poly group. In this case, doesn't matter. Then we can actually go edit pivot, top, center. Oh wait, I'm selecting all of them. So top, edit pivot, top, and edit pivot, top. And this should allow me to move them a little bit closer to what I need. Then to finish them up, I might go to attributes, generate polygroups, find quads. This is the beauty of low poly, like I can do this pretty fast compared to working with a high poly. There's no texture, so I don't care about stretching. And that gives me a little bit of a more personalized asset that makes the game a little bit more unique. Nice. I love the modeling tools in Unreal. Sweet. Okay, that gives this house a little bit of a difference. Then, what about this house? How can we modify this one? So maybe we can do a cool little trick that I haven't done in a while, which is just get piece of wood, something like this. Maybe it felt on top of the house, like that. So we're gonna copy, hide, select 1, 2, model boolean, and we're gonna cut out that hole. No, actually nobody's gonna see that. I don't think anybody's gonna actually see that detail, but it's fine. This one might have the door closed. I guess some decals might be able to modify this, but anyways, and here we can do the same. Just wanna find a nice piece of wood, and we do 1, 2, model boolean, and we cut out a little bit of that. Oh, this is a hollow model. That might not work. As intended. Just want to randomize a little bit. 1, 2, model boolean. Oh, that's a little bit more interesting. Kinda. Just gonna make sure that generate polygroups, find connected trees, that we don't have any floating pieces after a Boolean operation. So we delete that. And I think everything else kind of works. Again, little details that don't really matter, but they might look pretty cool if somebody stops and looks. I have this very sharp, very line here, very straight line that I don't like. That's a little bit more interesting. kind of cartoony. Yep. Just gonna add a little bit of okay, I think that kind of works. Usually Spanish moss grows on not so close to the wall, kind of likes the wind. And that's good enough, let's continue. Don't wanna get caught in a little corner. I don't really like these two mushrooms, one next to the other, it looks repetitive. This looks nice, but it's a little bit radioactive. Oh, I forgot how to call these mushrooms. We're gonna make them a little bit desaturated. Better? Way better, yeah. Trying to keep that roughness equal. And also I think we might be able to desaturate this a little bit. It's too much. Wow, that's a small texture. That's a little nicer. Alright, well, wow, it's actually getting looking nicer. Let's actually get some moss for this thing as well. Let's see if we share the same texture for both. No, we don't. So what we need to do is okay. Do a copy of this. go to the parent, get that. For this one. Then we're going to create a material instance. And it adds a little bit of moss to it. Awesome. And we could probably apply that here as well. Very tiny little mouse. Maybe we can adjust it to 4, 1, 2, 1. I think that works. It really depends on the mesh. Yep, that feels a little better. Sweet. So okay, nice. We are moving forward. Can I do it here as well? Yep, perfect. I love when they share the same texture. Beautiful. And we can do the same with these rocks. These rocks, I do want to actually try to match them here because the color, it's a little bit beige kind of thing, and I'm not really happy with that. We want to have this color there, so let's actually do that here. So this is this thing, M desert, okay, rock. So oh, okay. I'm not sure why it has tiling. Usually, since the polygon, they are mapped specifically to a texture. But it's okay. We're gonna turn this into this. Okay. I'm not sure if we need normal map in here. Probably we don't need a normal map. Coordinate index by tiling. What? No, I think we don't need that. It's just directly like that, yeah. Okay. Probably a flat color might be even better. works. Okay. Is it like 0.01? I don't think they're mapped to that. No. No, we're gonna actually just use a flat color and try to get it from here. Yep, let's just do a flat color. Yep. I think that's the same color. Kind of. Maybe it's the specular that is changed. Maybe it's a little darker. I wish I could see this in real time. Okay. Happy with that. I'm wondering if I set the material to the rocks in here, is it going to change all of them? So I don't need to do it one by one. Oh, it does, perfect. And this one comes from this pack. I guess could also do it here. That looks awesome. I wish I can do this in the. I could do this in the property matrix. I kind of like this method of adding moss. It's getting very hot in here. Oh my god, I need to open the door. On this one? Do I need to reset the material? Sometimes you need to do it. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it was using something else. Perfect. Yeah, that little moss on top really adds a lot. Might as well just do it for all the materials I have, so I don't need to do it after the fact. Yeah, let's actually do it here as well. I'm gonna open the door a little bit. Oh. Wow, it's so hot in here. Okay, that's a little better. Perfect. So what do we have here? Okay. Let's see if this works. Oh, it does work. Beautiful. Now we have moss on top of these props. Oh, I love these roots. I need to work on them because, yeah, I need some modeling. Hola, Jess. What kind of material is that? It's a basically what we are doing here is getting the world coordinate 3 ways. Basically, we are projecting this color on top of the material. Blend exponent X. So we are blending the X axis with this green color, and this gives us an alpha that we put into a lerp node. So we combined the color texture with a moss texture. This is a one way to do it. There are other ways, but this one kind of like works well for low polyprops. Not sure about this white and black texture. I guess we are just blocking these channels with something. But yeah, I've done this in different ways. So let's see how it goes. This area is kind of cool. It's a little bit different, but let's work a little bit in these roots. I need to make them deeper. Okay, I guess I'm gonna close the door because it gets a little noisy. So for these roots, instead of using an atlas, which is a material that uses a bunch of colors in a texture, I'm gonna actually just make another material, so I'm going to be free to just sculpt this, model this on without having any restrictions on the UV mapping. Just want to make them a little deeper so we can play a little bit more with them. And also, it's also nice to just close them up. Insert loop. I don't think we have a edge slide here yet. Okay, that's very nice. Okay, now I also want to do this here, because imagine the player getting, for some reason, underneath these roots and getting stuck in that hole. That's gonna be annoying. So definitely want to keep them water sealed, something like around there. We might get away with using the same texture, the same material. Yeah, I want to make sure that everything's closed. Here the topology, it's not very good, so we're gonna fix it by adding a little bit of insert edge. We want to close this loop right here. This is gonna mess up the UVs big time, but it's fine. Sometimes on Unreal it's kind of difficult to find that little point right there. Boop. Nice. Oh, it didn't. Okay, so now we can select the loop. Is maybe not. Maybe I didn't connect it properly. Or maybe this face here is not allowing it to be a proper loop. Yes, this triangle here. This is most likely gonna mess up the UVs, which is a whatever, because we can also just do a new material. Okay, nice. Now we can actually work a little bit nicer with this. Again, this triangle here is not really helping us. It's not doing anything, so we're probably just gonna get rid of it. Unreal, it's kinda tricky in the sense of, like, it's a little bit like ZBrush, like the topology that you're looking at is not the actual topology of the mesh. This is a polygroup kind of topology. Let's say it's like a visual representation of a quad topology for me to model a little bit easier, but this is not the exact topology you're gonna get if you export this mesh to Blender or whatever. It's gonna be a triangulated topology, but this is just a kind of like a visualization mode for me to model a little bit easier. Kind of cool. It took me a while to understand what was happening there. For example, if I export this to Blender, it's the topology will change and it might be super messy. But here in Unreal, I have a nice quads to work with. Alright, cool. I think we closed all the gaps. Nice. Hey, Caesar, how is it going? The voodoo signs, the indigenous tribe area is going to be somewhere around here. Here you start entering the Grimmer area. And you start looking at some voodoo stuff. And these very scary hippos. Then you go through here and you start going into this thing. Something's happening with the water, but it looks kind of cool. I updated Unreal and it changed the that's funny. I changed rooms. Now I'm on another room. Thankfully, this one is way better. I have view to the garden, a little bit better ventilation. I'm actually gonna open that door. I had something here. Oh, I think here it is. So you wanted to see some voodoo stuff? No, this is not voodoo stuff. This is a kind of like a cool thing that my brother brought from Peru. my dog slept on it. It's kind of like a cool little mask. Oh, that's funny. That mask is a mask from Peru. It's super hot. It's very, very hot. Very, very warm, I mean. Okay, is this the one that we worked on? Yes, that's good. Yep, I think this is the same one. Perfect. Yep, the same one. Wow, nice. This one, I think those are the same ones. Here I'm using different ones. Yeah, let's work on this one a little bit. Oops. I want a little point light. To see what's happening. Wow, today's a very hot day, oh my god. I can open this other door, but it's they're doing construction right there, so I don't wanna get dust in the room. Okay. Yeah, just gonna fill these gaps. That's a weird gap. Okay. Okay, nice. I think we filled all the gaps. Yeah. Perfect. These ones need a lot of work. Yeah, these ones right here. I think it's okay to flip them and work like that, yeah. My post-process makes the shadows too dark. Since I'm not using lumen, I need to adjust the colors quite aggressively to get like a very nice color. So yeah, a little bit of a annoying work to do, but it's I kind of want to get it out of the way before the environment gets too big and complex. Kind of like want to give it a little polish pass. I think these are good. And this is the final one. And then I will be able to adjust that section a little bit that had some issues. Oh yeah, the sound VFX, that's very important, absolutely. I was gathering sounds yesterday. I got a bunch of super cool swamp sounds and stuff. That will be very important for the trailer for sure. Want to add birds and stuff like that. Okay, cool. That's nice. Nice. Now it looks a little bit, here's a little bit empty on the background. Oh yeah, definitely. Stuff moving in the water, that will be awesome. little bubbles. I do have this water splash and water sound effect. Yesterday I was working on networking a little bit, on replication. I got to show the Steam names. That was a little bit tricky to do. And then I got the health bar to replicate, these things to replicate, the repair wood and stuff, so that's very good. Trying to polish a little bit the environment for the release trailer, so I have something nicer. I kinda need to fix the camera, not clipping into objects. That's gonna be a big one. Don't want that to happen for the trailer. That's gonna be a problem. The single player paddle goes through the boat. That's another problem, but thankfully on the trailer it's gonna be two players, so they are actually sitting on the edge of the boat, and it's gonna be a little nicer. Oh yeah, we need to add foliage, absolutely. Moss growing down from the trees, little bushes, water plants. Definitely need to give a nice foliage pass. Oh yeah, yeah, that camera clip cannot happen like that. That's very bad. Oh yeah, definitely need roots and stuff going down the water. Yes. Yeah, there are areas that are feel very empty still. Trying to find that sweet balance between adding too much and too little. Yeah, this area is super cool. Yeah, here we need some roots going down this thing. That'll be very nice. I'm gonna add a little bit of foliage. Hey, how's it going? The sci-fi project got put on hold. I do actually have a playable demo, but I haven't released it yet. It's it had some issues with the with multiplayer. It kind of works. It's just that I have like some kind of like lag and delay, and that kind of like put me off a little. So I took a break from that project. Then I worked on another project with a friend, but that also got put on hold. So now I'm making something way smaller. To actually be able to finish. Oh yeah, that stone tunnel, that feels pretty empty, absolutely. Let's add some roots in there. A lot of need to add a little bit more of like broken wood on the edges. That will also, it's a nice filler. Maybe maybe something like this. That's not exactly the kind of roots I want, but oops, that's not the right material for that. I do have other roots, but I'm not sure how they're gonna look in here. Yeah, you're right. I was actually thinking of opening the other project and checking it out. It's been a while, but you know, being very honest, that project has a lot of issues from the core. Just the fact that I'm using a very complex template, that just it's an issue. It's very hard to work with that template. It's a very complex template, and that kind of like makes things way harder. And the multiplayer aspect of it, I don't think it's something I can address. So yeah, that project, I do want to release at least the demo and just have it there, because I mean, I already used the Steam token for it, so might as well just put it out. But yeah, that project, it's a little bit out of scope. Maybe for a single player game might work, but yeah. Yeah, it got a little bit out of hand too quick. Oh wait, what? Not exactly the kind of roots I was imagining, but We could probably add some vines that grow from one side to the other of the thing. That might look cool. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think there's a lot of value on doing your own systems from scratch and keeping your game small. I think that's what everybody talks about. That's kind of nice. But for sure it could be a nice boomer shooter. Just kind of like, that's initially what I wanted to do with the project. And that's actually kind of like what it is. It's just that there's this delay on multiplayer for the client, and that really got me down. Yes, absolutely. Unreal Engine, it's great for lighting. Unity, I've used Unity, and I know what you're talking about. Unity, it's very painful to get something looking right. I mean, there are beautiful games made in Unity, absolutely, but it's not so straightforward. It's not so artist friendly, I would say. Yeah, this actually kind of looks nice. I think, let me see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I need to think about how to fix that. But yeah, Unreal, it's awesome for lighting. Just take in consideration, if you're gonna use Lumen, it's gonna take a hit on performance, a big hit on performance. Right now I'm not using Lumen, I'm using screen space reflections and global illumination. But I can make this look so much better with Lumen. I do want to have that option for people to turn it on or off. Alright, let's add this somewhere here. Wow, the heat is intense today. Wow. Wow, that looks kind of nice. Yeah. We could add a little bit more hanging stuff, but let's try not to focus too much on one single area and give a little detail pass to everything. I'm not using C++, I'm using blueprints, um, which are something like this. So it's very very friendly. You don't actually need to use C++ unless you want to do something very complex, but most you can get away with blueprints for most of it. For simple games, you should be fine. C++ is for more complex systems. Yeah, that camera clipping, oh, it's not good. Cannot have that camera clipping like that. Yeah, that looks way more interesting, having these little things overhead. Yeah, for a game like Caesar's is like a roguelike. It has like a lot of upgrades, and like it gets very complex. So for a game like that, it makes a lot of sense. But again, like it really depends what's your background, right? If you're an artist and you don't know anything about programming, definitely don't go that route. Uh, that's why I enjoy blueprints a lot, because I can get like simple systems working. Um, without knowing how to code. It's not like my blueprints are clean, but obviously, right? I definitely need to improve on that. But yeah, for simple small games, it works. Hey, how's it going? Nice. Yeah, you can build almost your whole game. It really it it really it really depends on how complex your game is. Like it gets to a point where there's too many blueprints and it just becomes like an infinite spaghetti of nodes. So that's why like C++ it's way cleaner to work with and more efficient. But again, it takes a lot of skill to use C++. Like it's probably I don't know anything about programming, but I heard it's one of the tough languages to learn out there. That water, we don't want this. Let's clean it up. But yeah, I'm an artist, and Unreal Engine it's been like magical to me. Like the fact that you can like see things in real time, and it's just beautiful. Like it's so artist friendly. I love it. I seriously love it. I was struggling a lot with 3D just to get a nice render. I know Maya. I learned Maya in university. I'm a 3D generalist, so I know a little bit of everything. But I couldn't get good renders. Then I started using Blender, and I started getting like better renders. I started doing motion graphics and like very cool stuff for like music events and stuff. Then I also started using Cinema 4D, but I decided that Blender is way more friendly. And then I discovered Unreal Engine, and it was like, whoa, I can just move the lighting in real time. Like, what is this? Like, I don't need to wait for this to render. Are you crazy? Can I just go like this and adjust the lighting? Like, what? That was crazy to me. Can I just walk around my environments? That's whoa. That was very cool. in most things. They say the build to build a lot of things and most things are fine, but when you're building complex operating systems, it's more than taking one after other. It will be complex pretty fast because you have to write 10 nodes to parse and list of models in property, and you end up with wrapping things in a lot of private function just because it's not possible to properly. Yeah, like using blueprints, it gets like big, big very quick. Like for example, if I open this blueprint here, right here, it looks huge, and this is probably like, I don't know, 5 lines of code instead of this nonsense right here. So you see, like, you have all these kind of like spaghetti lines going everywhere, but this is probably just like 4 lines of code in C++, maybe 5 lines, something like that, instead of like all this nonsense. But I mean, for a visual artist, it's kind of cool. Do you model in Unreal or Blender? I do model in Unreal a lot. I modify assets in Unreal a lot. The modeling tools in Unreal are absolutely beautiful. Wait, can I remake an entire area in Avatar and nobody can stop me? Not even render time? Sign me up. I mean, if you want something like Avatar, there's this beautiful showcase from Unreal Engine called the Electric Forest. This here, Electric Dreams environment. This is the closest you can get to Avatar. And there was a free asset pack, the Sci-Fi Jungle, which also looks like Avatar, but this one is just absolutely amazing. Your computer will burn for sure. You need to be careful not to overheat your PC too much, because it gets tough opening those scenes. Yeah, the Electric Dreams forest is beautiful. That's just absolutely amazing. Again, it's not really for a video game, because you need a very strong computer to run that in real time. But I mean, just the capabilities of Unreal Engine, they're just going crazy. And that's something that people need to also take in consideration. Like, be careful with using like megascans and nana and lumen and stuff like that, because your game will get very heavy very fast. That's why I like working with stylized low poly assets. It's just so much easier. Everything's faster just like working with it. How do you call it, packaging the project, moving files around, everything's lighter. Oh yeah, definitely that scene, it's very heavy. Let's try to fill in a little bit this area. Oh, nice, yeah. Yeah, right now we have nanite, which is it's awesome. Like for low poly games like mine, it might not be necessary, but I will need to do a test to see if it actually gives me a performance boost or not. problem with Nanite is that it's heavy on the processor. So if your computer doesn't have a strong processor, it can actually hurt your frame rate. So also you need to take that in consideration for very low-end computers. Nice. Yeah, that's true, Kane. Yeah, computers are getting stronger. People are getting better systems, so better computers. So it's going to eventually balance, and these technologies are also improving. So there's going to we are getting close to actually getting to that point where lumen is not going to be an issue anymore. It just looks so good. Like, lumen looks so beautiful. Like, oh my god, I don't even want to turn it on, because then I don't want to turn it off again. It's like, it's so beautiful. It makes this environment look like twice as better. Okay, we have some issues here with the water. Okay, let me see if I can fix that. Okay, so we're gonna get that here. We need to fix this little area. Cannot have that looking like that for the trailer. So what we're gonna do is shallow water. Reset. And we will see where the problem is. It's somewhere here. So we're gonna sculpt a little bit. There you go. Just a little bit here. Then we're gonna smooth a little bit. Awesome. And I think we can bake and put it back to water component and baked sim. Control H, and I think we fixed that. I need to show you. The issue with that is that it's very hot right now. It's like 1:37 p.m. and today is a crazy hot day in Costa Rica. So I kind of don't want to turn it on for now. All right, this area is looking good. Let's move the raft a little. This area also needs a little work. Somewhere here, let's see. Let's play from this area. It's so cool because I'm like spawning the characters on the raft, so I can just move the raft around and the player just spawns in there. Yep, we need more trees on this left side. And the reflections look so much better with lumen, like so much better. Yeah, this game is gonna be super fun for racing. Racing other players. I would love to add a racing mode to this. It's looking a little bit overexposed. Some areas are too burned. And the water, I'm getting this weird color on the water. I updated Unreal, so it changed my water. I needed to redo the water. Oh yeah, the color is wrong. Absolutely, that's why. Thankfully I saved my settings. There you go, needs to be swamp color. Now, there you go. Maybe that area is a little bit too deep or something. Yeah, I actually need to save my water settings before something happens and I need to reconfigure it. Since it's a water plugin, the default water plugin of Unreal, it's a little what's the word? It's a little. It doesn't work like a normal material. It can get overridden by Unreal when you update to a new version. So it's something that I should probably save. Before I lose my configuration. Yeah, we need trees here. We need to. Trees in the background. Maybe a couple bushes. We can snap to surface for these ones. Just make them very big and fill in some gaps. Maybe a little rocks. Couple of rocks in there. Okay, that's kind of nicer. This is a big, nice filler. Maybe we can add something like that. This cannot be, needs to be vertical. Yeah, I tried Unity and wow, I just don't know how people do it. I guess if you know C#, I understand why people use Unity, because it's a very like programming focused engine. So I guess it's fun for people who know C#, but it's just it's getting a little better. I actually opened Unity the other day because I was I was trying to export some assets from Unity to Unreal. So it's a little better now, but I remember before there are so many versions of it, and like the plugins are not compatible, and it's just such a hassle. And the UI, it looks a little better now, but yeah. When it comes to lighting and getting something to look right, it's tough for sure. It's not that simple. And I heard they're changing their lighting. I heard something about the lighting system. That's awesome. Actually, yeah, let's actually fill in this a little bit with some wood. I wish this foliage menu was... I wish I could display this entire list of props I have. This is one thing that I don't like about Unreal. This has been the same since Unreal 4. And it's it works, it's just a little difficult to see all your foliage. Okay, trying to be careful not to add stuff where we are not gonna look. Unreal C#, oh my god. Unity will be like, okay, we are done. No more for us. No, I understand, like, people who use Unity, okay, that's starting to get a little bit too repetitive. That's a very good question. I want to release the Steam page as soon as possible. I'm actually now trying to polish a little bit the environment so I can actually record gameplay. I have the game systems working decently. There's still things to improve upon, but I want to clean up this section, make it look as beautiful as possible, and I want to record a 30-second trailer and put it on Steam. And hopefully after that, I think I might do play tests or even release a demo. That's what I felt in Unity. It feels like you need to build everything from scratch. Unreal is more of a kind of like a more of a template based program. They give you like a lot of built-in solutions. That's why a lot of games in Unreal look the same, because people don't actually modify the lighting or modify the post-process, or they just ship out of the box. But you can achieve any look in Unreal. In any game engine you can achieve any look. But yeah, hopefully I should be able to have something playable soon. I wanna have it in my Discord. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have a public demo or just playtest for people. But I need to get this game out as soon as possible to get feedback and find bugs, because I know there's gonna be a bunch of little bugs. Steam Fest is on June 15, so I have 1, 2, 3, about 3 months to put a nice demo for Steam Fest. That's my goal, trying to get into Steam Fest with a nice demo, something polished that people will enjoy. That's the goal. I mean, yeah, there are some very beautiful games made in Unity, absolutely. Which is very impressive, because getting that to look, getting that looking in Unity is way harder than in Unreal. For example, Peak is a game that looks absolutely beautiful, and it actually feels like it has like Lumen on, but it's just Unity. It's just using a Unity global illumination, and it just looks absolutely beautiful. Okay, that feels a little bit more. Yeah, as a indie game dev, you should be playing indie games as a great way to actually compare yourself with what's possible for a solo developer or a small team. Yeah, that looks way nicer. Oh wow, I'm getting overheated. It's too hot. Oh my god, I was not expecting today to be so hot. It's not solo dev friendly. I need bats and frogs and stuff like that. I really want those. Get some very cool VFX for that thing. Wow. I might need to go take a break, because it's getting I'm getting overheated. Yeah, I do need air conditioner. It's wow, dude, it's insane how hot it is today. It's oof, I'm starting to lose focus. Okay, let's make this a little bit mossy. Maybe a little bit of a little bush in there. Nice. Yeah, in Costa Rica, if you don't take a shower in the morning, you're gonna have a bad time after midday. It gets too hot. Sweet. Okay, well, it's starting to look a little bit more interesting now. I also need to have rocks outside the water. Maybe not that kind, maybe something more like... Okay. Oof, yeah. Like the temperature, I guess it's around 30 degrees. These crabs are super cool. Oh, I wish we can get some rain today. Oof. Alright, well, I think we got a bunch. We got a lot done. I'm gonna leave the camera somewhere here to give it a little bit. I need a little bit of more of a background here. And I'm gonna continue with this. Yeah, it's coming together. Hopefully today I will be able to record some gameplay. Before the gameplay, I need to work on the camera. I cannot have that camera clipping. I need to solve that. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a priority. Let me check. Oh, 26. That's not bad actually, but it feels crazy humid and hot. It's the humidity. It's not. There you go. Humidity 46. That's why it feels hot. It's not the temperature. It's the humidity. It's just kind of like sticky, you know. It's that's the issue. Very low wind. That's why we get high humidity. Yeah. It's that's the problem. It's not the temperature, it's the humidity. It just feels humid and that makes it feel way more hot than it is. All right, but let's see. We did about 3 hours. Okay, that's a good time. trying to stream not longer than 3 hours, because then I get a little tired. Oh, it's kind of nice to stream for longer, but I think it's time for me to take a break. Maybe I might stream a little bit later, after the sun goes down a little. But yeah, gonna take a little break, have some food, take a shower, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.